Day 403 since delivery. Time to lubricate the engine. So I've got all my lubricants here. I'm not going to use the coolant just yet. I've been reading a lot on the forums to use distilled water for your first start, just so if something, I don't want to say when something, but when something goes wrong and there's a leak somewhere, I'm not just dumping brand new coolant all over the place. So I'll probably use go the distilled water method, let it make sure it's all clean, and then I'll empty it out and use the actual proper coolant. The coolant I am using, we're talking back to this another time, but I'm going with the Preston with the Dex Cool. So seems to be a lot of opinions on that too, but a lot of opinions on everything with this car. But first off, I am doing the oil priming. I'm not going to take off the serpentine belt and hand crank the engine. I really don't want to mess with the timing up. This is a Blueprint crate engine, 427, so it has been pre-lubricated and then emptied. So I'm not too concerned about anywhere being dry as much as just make sure the oil gets in it. But I wanted to go ahead and at least prime the best I could. So I removed the valve covers from the engine, and you can see here, this is the break-in oil. I'm using the Blueprint's recommended pre-500 mile break-in oil, and I've been priming it. And so as I'm priming it, it is currently being primed, and you can see the blue oil starting to come out of those valves now. So here is something I looked on the forums and found. Garden sprayer, just a regular old pump sprayer, is like $11, $12 from Lowe's, and then clipped off the wand and using 1/4 inch connector with some 1/4 inch PVC. You want to have it clear so you can actually see the movement. And then I'm going into the oil sensor there. So just a couple of fittings there to do so. So remove the sensor temporarily and then put that in, and then put a valve stem cover into the pump sprayer so that I'm able to just hook my compressor up. Yep. Just a little loud. Put the compressor up and see my pressure as I'm putting oil in. So right now I'm about 2 quarts into the engine, and it has started showing up on both valve covers, which is nice. I wasn't sure without hand cranking, I wasn't sure if it was going to reach both sides, but here we are. So I'm seeing blue, which is great, and I'll probably stop that now and put the valve covers back on and go ahead and dump the rest into the engine, make sure my quantities are correct, and then I'll move over next to transmission fluid. I still need to finish the power steering fluid, which that one's going to be a little bit tricky until I hook up electrical and do some turning. But what else I've got? Transmission, master cylinder. I'll do that tonight as well. So day 403, and stay tuned. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have 6 quarts of oil. That's all I ordered. Research looks like 9 quarts are needed, so 3, actually 4. Got an extra one on the way, and but went ahead and got the 6 quarts in. I did the rest through this breather on this side, and in fact, if you know, feel free to comment, because I'm not quite sure if it would be a good idea to go ahead and put the remaining oil on this side, or if that's even a good or bad idea. So I'll find out, of course, ahead of time to make sure, but for now, I'll go ahead and move on to the next step. So I am going to work on the transmission fluid next. What I have here is the 7530 it's a synchromesh transmission fluid, and it does have friction modifier in it. So according to the forums, this is what I had read was recommended. And I also, to make this a little bit easier, got one of these fancy little pumps. Fits right in the bottle, screws right on, and I'll be able to go into that side port of the transmission and start pumping it in. I believe it's 3 quarts. I'll double check that as well before I start pumping. It's kind of a measure twice, cut once with everything on this car. Usually I feel like I'm measuring 5 or 6 times and checking different opinions on everything, because there's so much art to this versus the science. There's so many things that are opinions, but I mean, this will be pretty obvious. You pour it into the side port until it fills up and starts to overflow, and then you know you're in. And I have heard that some people go through the top cover here. That certainly would be easy at this point in the build, except I've also heard some pretty bad stories about that seal never going back, the gasket seal going back in place, right, or causing a leak later. So I'm just going to leave that, let the pro builders that put that together the first time, and not try to mess it up. So anyways, that's what I'm going to do next. And also on the oil change, on the pre-lube, I still plan to hook up to just the starter and go ahead and pump it a few times, or the oil pump a few times. I think it's like 20-second intervals. I'll still do that before actually starting the car. I know there's air in it. I know it's not perfect yet, but I didn't want to remove the distributor cap and do it that way because it seemed even more overwhelming or intimidating to me. So, and then I probably took the easier route, I hope, but I'll still do that part of the process when I get the other 3 quarts in. And I did pre-lubricate the filter as well. So I did put about 1/3 of oil in the filter before sticking it on. You can't really fill it up all the way because it goes in at an angle, and so you'll have oil everywhere. And I was fortunate. I was able to do this entire process. I got 2 drops of oil down below the car as I was plugging the hole and then putting the oil sensor back onto the car, so on the block. So so far so good, and see you in a second. And also, if you're not quite sure where the plug is on the side of the transmission, I'll try to see if I can get on here and give a view of it. But it is, oh, I'm getting old, right there, that little guy there. And then of course here's the lower one for draining, but that's the one I'm going to be going into. And I think I can actually reach it with my fancy pump. Once I get it undone, I can probably do it here from the top, through the parking brake hole that's uncovered right now. So at least the first time is easy, and hopefully I will have a lift if I ever have to do this, or when I ever have to do this next, because my plan is in the next year or so to have a lift, a nice lift. Should have done that before starting a car project. That would have been a lot nicer, but yeah, I couldn't wait to start the car for sure. So I'll report back. So first little road bump of the evening. In order to get to that top plug, the emergency brake assembly is smack dab in the way, and I'm sure a few builders or many builders have run into that. I don't have the right tool. My socket extends a little bit too far out to do that. It's just a 1/2 inch that goes into it, so I'm gonna have to get one of those where it's just the 1/2 inch elbow without a ratcheting mechanism in the socket. So I will get one of those tomorrow. Always a good reason to get another tool. And even if I do go through the top cover, which I know this one you can go through. I think that one as well, but I could be wrong. But either way, if I do it, I'll do through this one. I'm going to try not to, but even if I do, I still have to remove the top plug on the side of the train, because that's how you know your fill level is when it starts coming out the top of that hole, so, or out the bottom of that hole. So that I have to wait either way. So that'll be it for the night. I told myself, this is taking me a little bit longer than a lot of people take to build it, but I told myself a long time ago, enjoy the process. I've added so many things along the way, so I'm not trying to hurry through this and just get it started, get on the road. Although that's exciting, I can't wait, but I don't want to be missing out on life and the family time and all the other good stuff along the way. And my kids are at that prime age where there's always something going on, and I try to miss nothing. So I'm about to head in for Saturday night movie night at the Hayden house, and but I'll update probably tomorrow. I should have that 1/2 inch after church tomorrow, and we'll get that pumped and done, and then on to let's see, I'm trying to think which fluid I can do next. I can't really do the power steering, but master cylinder. Yeah, I'll do that one tomorrow as well, and might even try to prime the oil. Well, I need to wait for those other quarts to come in. So that might be it for tomorrow. Still have plenty of electrical to do, and there's always electrical to do. I keep adding electrical things. So in fact, I'm looking at maybe a USB charging port on the side of my drop-down piece that you've probably seen in other videos. I'm going to try to put one kind of tucked up in there. I don't need to charge a laptop or anything like that in this car, but I thought I might run that somehow to the other side of the battery cutoff, so that will be live all the time. And the thought behind that is maybe I can hook a trickle charger up to that USB, and this way pull it into the shop, pull it into the garage, and just plug the trickle right into the side of the USB, charge the car. I know there's plenty of outlets out there, cigarette lighters in some car models that are battery direct, and you can charge through that way, and even jump, which I wouldn't really do that through this, but I think that having an easy way without having to open the hood up and hook my trickle charge up to the battery, I think that'd be nice to be able to just do it through USB. So that's another electrical thing I've got to do. along with my red light indicator. That little guy right there, still got to find a home for that. Already put it on the dash, so has to go somewhere. And with the Holley EFI, that eliminates a lot of things. You know, there's a computer in this, in that Holley Sniper, and it tells you and does a lot of the readings for you. So a lot of the warnings show up on the screen, which I've got a flip down thing that I bought online. It'll be hidden up under the dash, but I can flip it down, change the programming in it, look at things, and I can get some warnings on that. So it eliminates the warning systems that a lot of people use that red light indicator for. So I still have to find something for that. Not quite sure what. I want it to be something that tells me when something is wrong, and certainly not on all the time. So we'll figure that out. And if you have ideas on that, let me know as well. Thanks for watching.